I went through a lot of counseling, and I'm still in counseling. I feel like that's something that's ongoing in one's life. It's not just like a period of your life. It's something that, you have to continuously work on, which is yourself. Yeah. And so that's what I do.
Wow. We love you. Congrats on the new book, and then We Rise. Can you tell us about it?
Well, this book is really a love letter to my community about loving and taking care of ourselves. I feel like one of the best ways we can combat all the negativity, the anxiety, the depression, is to actually love yourself. And that takes like a lot of, that takes like, it's a holistic approach, meaning you gotta work with your mind, your body, your soul, and the foods that we eat affects all of those things. So this book for me was like, I've had access, thank God, that I've been able to see different things in the world, get exposed to different nutritionists, different people trainers, different therapists, and we need mental health support in our communities. We need to make sure that we're not talking about it like it's something we shouldn't do. Some generations before us felt like it was taboo to talk about those things or even do it. But man, we go through a lot of traumas in our communities, and people do. And it's like we should have the tools and resources.
Those same resources.
Yeah, this is about a practical way for us to live the happiest, best life we can live, to be at our, like what God created us all to be, our potential. We want to live at that highest potential. So we got to work on ourselves, and this book is my journey about working on myself.
Love that. I love that you're using your experiences to help others in it. Can you tell me more of where the title came from?
So the title is really based on Dr. Maya Angelou's poem called Still I Rise. And I was thinking, yes, Dr. Angelou, God bless her. So I was thinking about like how self-love is a community thing too, because, I like to say, because I'm known as an activist too, I do work for people. But there's no activism without self-activism, meaning I can't like be really my best for myself, my family, or my people if I don't love and take care of myself. And we talk about like just what are we doing for ourselves now too. As much as, I'm a parent, as much as I'm an artist, I'm a person that works within a company, and I have all these, people that I love that I need to serve, but I gotta serve myself too. So Then We Rise was about us as a community.
You're big on that, yes.
Yeah.
That is a good note to take from you. Now, I must say, I love the cover, and I love this outfit you're rocking.
Thank you, yeah.
How did you get to the...
So listen, the cover, I love thank you for saying that, but I love the yellow. Yellow made me feel bright. So I wanted to wear this yellow on your show because I was so enthused and inspired and happy to be coming here. And this like material kind of reminds me of you. It's mushy, it's mushy. So then you love mushy. So you want to look nice on the Jennifer Hudson show. You want to look like a girl.
Well, you look lovely.
Thank you. You look amazing.
Thank
you look beautiful, right?
As y'all know, I like to call my home here the happy place. Okay? I want you to be good and happy. Yes, I do. My goal and the goal of the J. Hud family has always been to uplift people and to help everyone to feel good. That's what we want you to feel good. Well, since May is Mental Health Awareness Month, I want to just take a moment to talk about how important it is to take care of our bodies and our minds. It's so important, y'all. That's right. Now, today I want to remind you to check in on each other. Ask your strong friend, you doing all right? It only take a few seconds, okay? We all have our own ways of checking in and checking up. Some people have their faith. I'm one of those that got my faith. Anybody got their faith? Let me see your hand. And some people have their community, and some people have their workout crew. Whatever yours is, make sure to use it, okay? My mama said, without your health, you have nothing, okay? And we want to be clothed in our right minds. So this is a very important thing, and I love my people, y'all, my family, so I want you to be okay. Are y'all all right today? so grateful to experience the love brought here to this studio every single day on this stage, from the audience to the guests and to the crew and the staff. It's just the happy place, and we love each other, and we just want everybody to be encouraged and in good spirits. And this is my family, the J-Hub family. So remember this, so this month and every month, I hope we all can find a way to take care of ourselves the best way we can. All you can do is the best you can do. You have been an inspiration for so many by sharing your story and being so honest. Like,
thank you.
You know, where did you find the bravery to do that?
You know, I had always wanted the role model that I never had growing up. Not saying that I didn't have role models growing up, but when I spoke about my eating disorder, in Hollywood, there weren't any young people talking about eating disorders that I knew of. And so I wanted to be that for my generation, of saying, you know what, it's okay to talk about your mental health, and I want to be the person that is an inspiration to the 13-year-old at home that's struggling with the same issues that I had. So, I had role models in my life, but nobody in the public eye that I could really look to and say, that's me, and I wanted to be that for others.
And you are, and it's making a huge difference. It really is. You do a bit of everything now. You just also released a meditation album.
Yes,
like, how did
yes.
I can't wait to get into this. How did it come about?
Well, you know, as performers, we take a moment to ourselves before we go on stage. So I've always been doing some form of meditation. But then when I hit 50, a lot of things, I'm 50.
I cannot
52
get over
now.
That is amazing.
I'm 52, but when I hit 50, a lot of things I started to reflect on in life and personal issues, and I turned to meditation to have more peace and, you know, to deal with certain emotions that I was having and frustrations, and it calmed me. And then at the same time, my partner, friend, and homie, Doug Davis, introduced me to Kabir Sagal, who's a producer on the album. Yeah. And we got together and we produced this album of guided meditations, and it just went #1.
I was just about to say that, too. Two of the songs on meditation.
Yeah, 2 of the songs #1.
On Apple. #1, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, I mean, because you're a hit maker. So what is the trick for meditation and party joints?
Well, I mean, you turn up, but then you got to turn down.
I love that. Turn up, but then you got to turn down. So you're going to get the people to turn up and turn down.
Yeah, we're gonna, you know, mental health is very important to me. Like, I started, you know, the last couple of years just calling some of my friends, checking on them. You know what I mean? Like, how you doing mentally and physically? You know, we need to, you know, us as black folks, we've been raised to internalize our issues, and now we should learn. You know, I felt like I should preach, or not preach, but put out there some knowledge to help people to deal with their problems. You know, everybody needs some help.
That's the difference.
So,
yes.
It's going well.
And it'll be well received from somebody like you. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. You have no idea. I'm so happy to be here.
Wow.
I've really been looking forward to this.
You know what? It's a blessing to have you here. And your book is a blessing. And thank you for writing it.
Thank you.
It's about, you know, grief, and it's a tribute to your parents.
Yes.
And what a beautiful tribute that is. Like, tell me, how did you come up with the title to your book?
So, Think You'll Be Happy. Those were the last words that I ever heard from my mother. We were actually talking about a sweet potato pie that was taken home from Thanksgiving. It was my gift. Of course, my father, being Clarence, took it home with him because no one touched it. And she was texting me, and she said, we were talking about the pie, and I said, I'll come get it tomorrow. And her last words were, okay, think you'll be happy. And then I was getting ready to take a bath, and a couple hours later went to sleep, and then was woken up by the most horrific and horrible phone call anyone can have, and get to the hospital, your mom's been shot. I'm like, what? Where? You know, you can't even think. It's unthinkable.
Yes.
And unimaginable.
Yep.
And so that's why I thought, and I thought to myself, Jennifer, of course her last words to me were, think you'll be happy, because Jacqueline Avant was positive. You know, she was dedicated, she was devoted, she was determined, and she was always focused on the good, focused on the goodness of God, focused on the goodness of life,
Yes.
focused on the goodness of people. And so Think You'll Be Happy has now become a mantra for me, you know, and to control my thoughts
Right.
as best as I can, and control the way I think, control the way I speak, and focus, reset my mind every day.
Yes, and they never leave you.
Never.
Y'all don't understand how precious those last words and those texts are, and the things that our parents instill in us. They always teach us they may not always be here, but they never leave us. Because for me, I always say it's not a day go by that I don't hear my mama saying something that she taught me.
100%.
That helps me get through the next day.
Yes.
So that's why this really, truly resonates with me.
Oh,
so I
thank
totally
you. It
understand
was, and I wanted it to be, to your point, I wanted it to be an offering. You know, this book is an offering to the world. It's an offering to anybody who, wants to talk about and learn about grief and to help you move through grief. But also, it is about having grit and grace and gratitude, which I think my mother had, in spades. And that's what she gave me. And to your point, I hear her every day.
Every day.
Yeah, even when I was writing this book, she was editing the book.
I love that. Speaking of, you wrote something in there, and I don't want to get it wrong, that really stuck out to me. The trauma of my mother's death is not the story of her life.
Yeah, 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 thank you. Yeah, I had the greatest phone call, and it was such a blessing. It was literally just given from God. It was the first day I had just returned from the hospital. I was so shaken. My friends, thank God, had shown up and they're cooking for us. But your mind is just trying to grasp any sense of anything. And I literally fell to my knees. I walked into my bedroom and I fell to my knees, and the phone rang, and I was expecting someone to call. Somebody said, this person's gonna call, and I picked up and hello. And he says, is this Nicole? I said, yes. And I knew it wasn't who I expected to be. I go, yes, who's calling? And he said, this is Bishop T.D. Jakes. And he said, I know how you are. Where are you? I said, well, I've just fallen to my knees. And he said, good. Then we're going to pray.
Yeah.
And we're going to pray. And we prayed. And afterwards, he said to me, now, we went through the process of, what I'm angry about, how I'm feeling, all this. And he said the greatest words to me, are you going to focus on the 3 minutes of a tragedy, or are you going to focus on the 81 years that she lived? Are you going to focus on the great things about Jacqueline Avant? Is that what you're going to focus on? And I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to focus on. But it helped me every single day, Jennifer. Every time my mind goes to the other side, and it happens to all of us, you have to train your mind every day of this trauma, this tragedy doesn't define her.
Right.
It doesn't define me. And you're not taking my mind either. You're not taking my mind. You're not taking my heart. You're not taking my soul.
Right.
I have a happy, grateful heart. And I love my life, and I love my friends, and I love my family. And so if I didn't keep my mind right, it was like all these blessings that God has given me were just going to be lost.
Right.
And
they didn't deserve to take that.
They didn't deserve it. No.
Well, congratulations on your album. I love this title. I've tried everything but therapy, part 1. Where did the name of that come from?
Well, I was hoping with naming it something like that, and I'm just go ahead and put it out there. I promised myself that I would get into therapy when this came out. I've been a little busy, all right, and I've been a little busy. I'm getting into therapy, y'all. Just bear with me.
Maybe the music is your therapy.
It is in a lot of ways, but I hope by naming it that it would because we're just in this new generation of where people are starting to talk about therapy and mental health openly, and for generations past, there's been something like, I'm not crazy, I don't need therapy, or I we haven't discussed mental health, and it's always been about being tough and not being vulnerable and being open, and vulnerability being a weakness in some way, and I just hope that somebody gets something from at least my journey when I started. they might start talking about it more openly and being man, maybe I need some help too, you know?
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. It'll help others. Now, you host 4 podcasts, and one is about dating?
Yes.
Oh, my
It's called Why Won't You Date Me? And it started off with me interviewing people I'd like hooked up with. And as the show has gone on, people will stop agreeing to do that. So now I just interview a lot of like comedians and actors and just people I like. And I'm on a quest to figure out like why I'm still single. What is love about? I've done the show for 5 years, and truly, I don't know why I'm single, other than I guess I'm a little too loud for men.
So you've been out there dating, like, how is it going?
Okay, it's going pretty bad. It's bad. I don't wish dating on my worst enemy. It is terrible. Yeah, it's just going bad. So I deactivated Tinder and Bumble and Raya and Hinge and OkCupid and Field and all of them. I was on all of them, and I said, goodbye for now. Let's work on my soul. So I'm in therapy.
I am so happy to see you in such a great place.
Thank you.
I know you went through, like, you know, a bit of a time. Like,
Yeah.
how did you get through it?
Well, you know, I made a decision that I wanted to get through it first. And then I went through a lot of counseling. And I'm still in counseling. I feel like that's something that's ongoing in one's life. It's not just like a period of your life. It's something that, you know, you have to continuously work on, which is yourself. And so that's what I do.
Wow. And we love you.
And that is why, the truth is, that is why I decided to do the dating show. Because my manager, Norman Jeffrey, brought it to me, and he was like, I think you need to do this. And I was like, I don't think I'm ready. He was like, of course you're ready. You've done a lot of work, you know, on yourself. And you're a catch. Hello.
Yes,
you
you
know?
are.
And I was like, I think you're right. And then when he told me that Will Packer was producing it and Holly Robinson Pete and her husband was hosting it, I was like, okay, I might as well go ahead and give it a try.
Yes, and we love just watching you. Isn't she
Thank
amazing
you.
to watch?
Y'all funny. Like, it was an adventure.
Can you tell us about iWay?
Yes.
This is amazing.
Yes, so I have a mental health movement. It started as a body image movement, not body positivity, but more body neutrality. I'm very against diet culture. I don't know if you've seen me be extremely annoying online about people selling diet and detox products, but I'm very relentless because I had an eating disorder for 20 years. And so I started this movement online called iWeigh, which challenges people to weigh themselves and their achievements and their orgasms and their failures and their wins. And instead of like on pounds on a scale, like we have to stop measuring women's worth on a weighing scale as to how little space we take up.
Powerful.
And so the movement went viral and stayed viral for 3 years, and we were able to, I spoke in Congress, and we managed to help change the global policy on Facebook and Instagram regarding detox and diet shakes being sold on Meta. And we have been speaking about trying to make it illegal for under 18s to be able to access these products because, you know, they're just laxatives. Anyway, sorry. That then eventually grew to be so big that we moved it into a whole mental health movement, and it's an advocacy space. You know, there are a lot of people who feel like we're updating in knowledge so fast right now, and you get punished by other people online if you don't have all of the answers immediately and if you don't speak about everything perfectly, and I think that's very unhelpful. So I, as someone who doesn't know anything, I've decided to start this platform and this podcast, which I love, and it's had some amazing guests on it. I would love for you to be a guest on it one day. But we, yes, the people have spoken. But we are a space where we're not going to judge you for where you're at and your knowledge.
Yes.
And if you're a product of your environment, that's okay. I don't care what political ideology you come from. If I'm willing to learn, you can learn with me, and we're just going to make you feel safe. It's a safe space for learning.
I love that. I love that. Congrats on your book. Can you explain the title, Rise, My Story?
I've faced a lot of obstacles in my life. I've had a lot of injuries, you know, personal problems, and I just wanted to share my experiences and hopefully help others in their journey. Talked a lot about mental health, and again, just everything that I've gone through. So it was a very reflective book, I think very therapeutic to write. I wrote it kind of right as I was retiring from ski racing. So I think it's more about me as a person than necessarily me as a ski racer, but hopefully it translates for everyone.
Beautiful. Talk about the challenges you face with depression.
I mean, I think a lot of people didn't really understand the concept of, how can you be an Olympic champion and have depression. I've been talking about it for like 10 years, and, Naomi Osaka and Simone Biles are all talking about it now, but back then it was like, well, that's impossible for you to have that, and like, they just didn't understand it, and it was hard to be at the top, and then you go back to your hotel room and you're completely alone, and it's very isolating, actually, and I struggled with it since I was 18 years old, and I've found ways to take care of myself, and I think that's also one thing that I found writing the book is, different ways of understanding myself, taking care of myself, and I really believe that mental health is just as important as physical health, and they both have,
you saying
they're all tied together.
That is so important. So true. Talk about like having low self-esteem, because a lot of times I have to say that people do think when you can achieve so much and you're successful that you're not human, and this shows the human inside of someone. So hearing from someone like yourself on these things, I think makes a huge impact and a difference.
Well, thank you, and I mean, I think sharing my story is just part of my process and my journey to be able to understand myself. But after I won the Olympics, I always looked at my body as a tool to be able to succeed, and when I started to be invited to red carpets and talk shows, you always make me feel good. But being on the red carpet with people that are half my size was shocking, and I felt for the first time that maybe I shouldn't look the way I do, and it really got in my head, and I struggled with that for a long time, but I feel great now.
You look great. It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. I feel like I can relate to that in some way, because I used to, being in the industry, I'm a tall girl and I was a heavier girl, and I would see people and I used to like, I'm not too big, you too little. You know what I mean? That's what, I like to find.
That's a great way to look at it.
That's what I would tell myself.
Okay, people love the new show, Shrinking. Tell everyone about it.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy about it. I'm so proud of it. It's this incredible show for Apple TV Plus that stars Jason Segel and Harrison Ford, who you saw, and it's about grief. Jason and Harrison and Jessica Williams play therapists, and Jason is dealing with the death of his wife. And the show is about how grief is funny and sneaky and can get you at any moment. And these are characters who deal with it through humor and love and connection. And I'm so proud of it. I think it's a really important thing for us to be talking about, grief. We've all gone through something so horrible these last couple of years. We're all dealing with grief. And I think the stigma on mental health has lifted in a lot of ways. And I'm just so happy to be part of it and to be working with these heavies. I mean, these guys are amazing. And I actually started therapy because of this show. Not because it made me sad, but because I was like, I wanna take care of myself.
Yes. Tell everyone what Rose of Sharon is.
Rose of Sharon. Okay, so Rose of Sharon is a nonprofit I created last year in honor of my mom. Yes, she beat cancer 3 times. Amen. Yes. Mama Sharon. Wow. Yes, that's my mama. And so I wanted to help her with her mental health because she was having some issues being diagnosed the 3rd time. And I'm like, you know what? I know other people are experiencing, and just being in the pandemic, the after effects, and how we grew up. So I said, you know what? Let me create a nonprofit that really tackles the mental health for the Black community, because getting help is a stigma in our community, right? You don't go to therapy, you go to work. So it's one of those things. Y'all know that's true. So I was like, no, it's time for us to take a look at our mental health and really get in touch and deal with the anxiety and the depression and the unhealthy eating. So I was like, let me do my part. So I created Rose of Sharon.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're such a light. So beautiful. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe to the Jennifer Hudson Show YouTube channel. Check your local listings or visit jenniferhudsonshow.com to see when you can watch full episodes in your area. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter.